Slade, and I'm doing a review of the Gioteck HF-2s, which are FPS ergonomic control. So this control right here, it gives you the box. I unboxed it the other day. This little thing about firmware and the manual. So that's it. Basically, this controller gives you the feel of an Xbox and a PS3. It's like they had sweet sex, but some parts are still not complete. So let's start with build quality. Build quality first. This controller feels awesome. It's made with some rubber grip around it, so it gives you a nice feel. The ergonomic feel about how you place your fingers is really nice and gives you a nice feel about it. So basically, this is a controller for people that like to play first-person shooters or any type of shooter. The feel of it is actually way better than the PS3, which is all glossy. You could, like, it's a regular glossy controller right there. You know, when you're sweating, this all becomes all sweaty and crap, and you have some awkward moments. But this one, you know, you can play all the time. One of the things that I like about this, there's a few things I like about this controller actually. Let me go to the pros. That they have a unique way of playing with the bumpers. So basically, you have your fingers on your triggers, which you could use as shoot with the button right here, the switch, which you could switch from. If you're shooting with this, you could switch to this, and vice versa. But the way that it's actually implemented, that the way you could shoot and use these two at the same time, is that when you're shooting, you could use your bottom knuckle or bottom finger and press it while you're shooting. So you could switch to guns, reload, throw your grenades, whatever. Another thing I like about this is that basically it's Bluetooth. So there's a rare amount of controllers that have Bluetooth functionality inside of them, that, you know, you have to use the adapter that uses dead zone and stuff like that. So that's a plus right there. Also, that, you know, it's basically has a nice feel. If you're coming from a 360 or you like the 360 layout, it's good for you. Sadly, there's no PS3 layout, and basically it's pretty awesome. Also, another plus is that you could update the software, where you could connect your this controller to the computer, pressing the select and the R1 button. You connect it and you update it to the latest firmware. Now to the cons. So one of the cons of this controller is that the select and the start button is way too close in the middle, and they're pretty small buttons right here. So when you're pressing and you want to do a quick select, or like spot an enemy in Bad Company 2, you have to extend your hand all the way to the left right here, losing, you know, your quick movements. So you have to go all the way over here. You gotta mess around with these buttons and you realize, oh, it's this one. You know, it'll be better if it was up here instead of all the way down here. And the buttons should be a little bit more bigger, more like the like the DualShock. Another con, which is kind of a con, yeah, it's basically a con. They brought back, well, they didn't bring back, they stuck with the 360 control, 360 D-pad, which is, you know, pretty bad. Even though this is more precise than a 360 D-pad, it's kind of, you know, this shape. So when you're pressing left, it's actually pressing, you know, left, right, you know, left top, left bottom, and, you know, it gets annoying if you're like doing something in select precise movements. So I wouldn't recommend this for fighters. This is more recommended to shooters and driver games. The other con, which I hope they fix, but most likely they'll raise the price, is that you have to use rechargeable batteries. Supposedly they're supposed to make rechargeable battery packs, but they don't have it, so you might as well just get your own rechargeable batteries and start using them. Depending on the battery size, like I have the 2650 milliamps. They round around like a good 7 hours or 9 hours, it depends. So it's not that bad, but, you know, it would be better if they had internal batteries so you can charge. One of the pluses about this also, let me go to the pros, is that you can use this as a wired controller also. If you connect it to your mini USB, and you have a long cable, you can use this as a wired controller if you don't want to use your batteries. And pretty much that's it. But I wish that they I will give this controller basically a 4 out of 5, because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. The joysticks right here, they come with some joysticks that are pretty nice. They're concaved, but they have these edges, and they're pretty small compared to the DualShock. So if you're used to the bigger size of the joystick pad, you're gonna get pretty pissed off. They're made out of rubber, but you know your fingers will slip off easily, and the edges are really annoying. So if you have FPS freaks, you can place them on them. Um, and I have dominator grips on this one right here. So I use this kind of layout because, you know, I got kind of pissed off that, you know, my fingers were rubbing off, and I was not too used to the smaller size of the joypad. So I was just, you know, let me just put some covers on them. But so far they're pretty nice. Here's the home button right here. It's like this, you know, thumb thing right there, and it's turning on right now. Here's the LEDs right you see right here. And you could yeah, pretty much you could do that. You could this is considered future proof, so if anything happens, you could update the firmware for this. I haven't seen anything. This has been out for like around like the beginning of this year, around like Q2, but there hasn't been any. They don't tell anything about the firmwares. They just say here, just update it. So there's no changelog, no nothing, and you can change the sensitivity. So if I were to rate this, it was before that 5, like I told you already. Would I buy this over the DualShock? Probably, yes. I bought it myself because it feels great and it's awesome. But another sequel to this, like the HF-3s, if they ever come out, they need to change the internal battery. They need to put internal batteries. They should have an option to make the joypad more bigger, and fix the start and select buttons. Besides that, this controller is pretty good, and I have an awesome time with it. So yeah, that's it. So this is Slade with the Gioteck HF-2s, and I'll see you guys later.